In this video, we're going to take a look at a few standard components of a three-phase SCIM motor. This is what I have in front of me. It's quite a small motor in comparison to others that I've worked on in the past. It's actually got a horsepower of only 1, but it's rated for 600 volts. Now, there is another presentation that goes over all of the different parameters on the nameplate, so we're not going to focus there. Instead, what I want to show you is how the connections actually take place, because some individuals will have had many opportunities to connect motors, while others of you will never have touched one. This here would be obviously where the conductors come in through the conduit. It's going to be a flexible conduit to allow for a bit of vibration by the motor. And then these are the T terminals. Now, this is a 3-lead SCIM motor, which means there's only 3 connection leads, obviously. Now we've got them labeled by the manufacturer as T2, T1, and this one down here, T3. Now, we don't know if this is wound inside the stator as a Y or delta. And to be completely honest, it doesn't really matter. So if we take a look down here, these are all the windings that have been inserted into the stator. And if I were to zoom in here and take a look at the actual stator itself, we can see it's actually made up of just all of these tiny little laminations. I'll go really close. There we go. Look at that. Look at all those laminations. So that's what the stator is made up of. And then the windings for the stator are slotted in the middle and then covered with this insulating dielectric paper. So motor rewind is actually its own separate trade. And if that's something that you wanted to get involved in, you could certainly transition at some point. So let's put this off to the side and take a look at what a typical rotor will have a form of. So here is a typical SCIM motor rotor. And we can see that all there is a couple of bearings on either side. That's it. And if we take a look at the actual connections here, they've got a little weight, and the weight has been applied by the manufacturer to balance the rotor. And these on this one, the fan, these are fan blades, and they are actually cooling the stator. And there's no electrical connection, right? It's a pretty basic item. Now, you can't even really see the stator bar, or the rotor bars in this, because they're embedded in the rotor laminations. And just like the stator, it's a whole bunch of tiny little slices on this thing that is actually what this entire cylinder is made up of. And again, if we just focus in, we can see all those different laminations. So another type or another way to take a look at a SCIM motor would be more like this. This is the motor without the stator and the housing. And so really, all we have is a end housing here and a front housing, and this would be the fan. The fan would actually be on this end over here underneath the housing. But other than that, I mean, man, it's a really simple system. The motor rotor spins only due to electromagnetic flux. That is it. So SCIM motors, interesting application, very simple device, and an interesting topic for electrical theory.